Hi.
Hi.
I am Mackenzie Jones. I'm the Recycling Outreach Coordinator, and I'm here to talk to you today about our outreach and education plan. So this plan is really focused on what we're going to spread out to the public. There's a lot of work being done internally looking at manufacturing the carts and cart delivery and things like that, but this presentation is really focused on how are we engaging the community, how are we getting people on board, and how can we make sure that we maintain the standards that we have as a city. So just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. We'll do a quick review of how we got here, why are we implementing recycling, look at a few data points from the pilot program. I'll go through a short rationale of why we're doing the approach that we're doing, and then we'll look at an action plan that has very focused goals and action steps. And I like having really drawn out goals because then we can hold ourselves accountable and make sure that we're serving the citizens as we are supposed to be. So why are we doing curbside cart collection? So we are introducing recycling in the fall, but we are also switching everyone's trash to carts as well. So I sort of see this as a holistic change. I'm really in charge of recycling outreach, but these things go hand in hand. So using carts is safe. It's safer for our workers because our carts become automated. Also, if you look through Action Center requests, we'll sometimes see that dogs or raccoons or cats or something got into bags. That's not safe for animals. So carts are actually safer for them as well. Cart collection is simple. Our carts that we ordered from Cascade are very high quality. They have great wheels. They're easy to move back and forth. And the large capacity can handle an average family waste. When I've done my research, I know a lot of people are concerned, since they can sort of put as many bags out as they want now, that the carts would really limit them, but we're not seeing that as a problem in the pilots. And also, recycling is sustainable. Obviously, it helps the earth, but when done correctly, it can also help the city save a lot of money. So here are some high points and a low point that I want to talk about from the pilot. 96% of the people surveyed believed that one trash cart was enough, and that was great to hear because that is a concern that people had going into it, that they wouldn't have enough capacity. 87% of people believe that recycling is important in their community. Broken Arrow is already fairly active in the Met, so we really see curbside recycling as enabling more people to become active in recycling, but also giving some of that to the city when it was originally going to the Met. A ton of people have called saying, I have so much cardboard in my house, and they've been ordering so many things from Amazon. So curbside recycling, as soon as we can get it out, we can really help our citizens. And then a data point that I was surprised to see, but I was sort of excited, was 58% of people were aware of the Recycle BA website. And for me, that's a huge growth opportunity. That's a way that we can really rebrand that website and make it an information landing page, but also a place that people can use as a resource. And I just put this little note in the corner because about 1,000 people were in the pilot, 1,000 homes, but you'll see we only surveyed 141. And our poller sort of explained that it's like stirring a soup. If you get the right sample, you sort of understand what's going on completely. Oops. So here is our approach. It is based on a behavior change model, sort of if you want to start a new habit, you want to get up every day and work out, or you want to stop smoking, something like that. You always go through these steps, even if you don't realize you're doing it. So we are looking at 5 different stages, starting in pre-contemplation, which is where we are now. So our citizens know that recycling is coming, but they don't really know exactly what they need to do. So right now we're trying to highlight pilot successes and provide information. Contemplation, this will be at the end of this month. People will start selecting their carts, and we really want to encourage people to do that and be active in it and answer any questions. Preparation is sort of between June, when people are picking carts, and September, August, when we launch. That's when we want to make sure that people are understanding what goes in this bin, what goes in this bin, what might I still need to take to the Met, and what qualifies as green waste, what's compost, things like that. Action, this is where we get people their carts, and they start recycling, and they start putting their trash in a cart. And then maintenance is basically October until forever. We want this program to just get better. People are really happy with the way that we do sanitation now, and we're not trying to take that away from them. We're trying to make it better for everyone, and we need to keep working on that forever. So here's our first stage, here's where we are right now. We're in positive messaging. I'm working with Jen Sweezy's communications team. We're putting together a series of videos right now that highlight people in the pilot who had great success. And we're also working with the pilot participants who didn't have a great time and figuring out why. A lot of people were just, people love their bags, and I get it. But we are working to sort of highlight people who did really love it and also work with people who didn't and see if we can sort of bring them around. We are launching a new website on Monday. I've been working with TJ Gerlich. All of that information will be completely updated. We know there are some concerns with HOAs because they'll have to change covenants because of cart storage. So there will be specific information for them on that. We'll also have a clear timeline there and contact info. If people have a recycling-based question, they'll know to reach out to me. We also are working internally to identify targets for participation. Recycling works if enough people are doing it. It makes sense for the city if enough people are doing it correctly. So we want to make sure that we have those targets in place. At the end of this month, in early July, we will be sending out mailers in conjunction with our cart vending company that will allow people to choose either the large or the smaller trash cart and opt in or opt out of recycling. Our goal is that by the time that comes around, people are excited to participate, and they really see this as something that they can actively invest in with their city as opposed to something that they have to do. So we will continue trying to spread positive information and also communicate that clear timeline of rollout. Right now, we're really finalizing that timeline. There were a little bit of manufacturing delays with COVID, as there were in most industries. So we're just trying to stay on track and informing our decisions if we have to push back a week or two. Active education, this is what the summer looks like. So I looked at a few case studies of Austin and Jersey City, other cities that made the change to cart collection after people had been happy with a different system. And something that they said was a real key was engaging with youth. Often children are the people who inform recycling in their homes, especially if they see it in their school. So we're working with some teachers in Broken Arrow Public Schools to put together some lessons that they can use in their classroom and things that we can sort of make materials that people can implement in their homes. This is also a time where we really want to highlight what is trash, what is recycling, what is green waste. If we are getting dirty pizza boxes and recycling over and over, we can't recycle that. It's bad for the city. And then we want to maintain strong communication with our vendor at this time. They are doing a lot of the communication as far as taking cart information, and they will be the ones delivering the cart. So we want to make sure that their standards of professionalism align to ours and that none of our citizens have a bad interaction. And then program rollout comes in late September, early October. Again, I said that timeline's a little shaky. But we will have carts delivered to all homes. If we see issues, we want to follow up on those quickly. Like I said before, our sanitation staff right now has very good public opinion. That's often the only city worker that a lot of people interact with at all. So we want to make sure that that standard does not go downhill at all. And we'll be working with sanitation staff this summer and training them on new protocols and things like that. And we want to start tracking contamination very early. We're doing as much education outreach this summer as we can, but if we see, oh, people didn't realize that plastic bags shouldn't go in recycling, that's something that we'll really need to hit home with very hard. And then October, and this says October, but it's really October and then forever. We just want to sustain excellence that we already have. We want to increase participation rates, and that doesn't necessarily mean introduce new carts, but if we see people are putting their recycling out every month, can we get them to do it once every 2 weeks? Can we sort of get people to even out those rates between trash and recycling if that's the kind of waste they're producing? Also, if we see contamination hotspots, we're in communication with the city of Tulsa and sort of using best practices from them, and they had an issue when they initially launched where populations that were Spanish speaking didn't receive the same information in a translated way, so they were having very specific problems, and all they had to do was redo that information, and they were able to solve those problems. So if we can identify things like that early on, we can solve them. It's better for our whole community. And then build community trust in the Curbside program. I've read the reports. I know that some people want their bags. I know that some people don't want their cart. They have made that clear to me on the phone, on an email. I know. I trust me, you guys are going to like your carts once you get them. But really, we want to make sure that their experience is great. And if there are any issues, that we do whatever we can and whatever outreach we can and really put the emphasis on the city reaching out rather than having citizens have to come to us. So how are we going to do this? Social media is going to be a huge tool for us. I just made the likes every customer that we had because that's how I'm thinking this is going to go, 35,000. So I think using social media is great because it's something that we can update very frequently. And not everything has to be a giant announcement. We can sort of make it ubiquitous in people's lives. Oh, recycle BA here, recycle BA there. So that's one thing we'll do, and we'll align that with existing city social media accounts. And again, working with the communications team to see how we can support each other in that. Video messaging is going to be huge. A lot of people have never had a cart at their house, and they think they're not going to be able to move them. They don't know where to store them. They're concerned about different things like that. So we're working right now on a series of videos that shows all sorts of people moving carts, putting them away. I live in this sort of house, where can I store it? And really answering those questions in a way that's really quick and digestible. And that again can be shared on social media, but also on our website. And we also want to highlight some of our great sanitation workers. We have people who have been really serving the city for a long time, and we want to feature them. And also the trucks are being updated, so we want to show that as well. Our website, like I said, will be all updated on Monday. It'll have all the information about the new program, and all of the old information will also be archived there. So since we're not introducing carts until the fall, people will still have the information that they need right now. And then here's sort of my wrap-up slide. This is looking forward. I really see this as a phased approach. Right now we're in informed. We want to get people as much information as we can. Connection over the early summer. We want to participate in community meetings. I know I've talked to Ms. Wimpy about coming to Rotary. We're looking at other community groups like that. Education in the late summer, early fall. That's where we're talking about what can go in each of these carts, and also routes will change, pickup days will change. We'll explain that at that time. And then finally, engaging. People are going to get their carts, and we want to make sure that it's a positive experience for them and that it helps the city. So that's my plan.
Any questions of Mackenzie?
Mackenzie, I love your energy.